AA Best Bail Bonds. Big game coverage live from Las Vegas. Powered by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Synergenics, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, everybody, huddle up. We got something to talk about. This is the Morning Huddle. He is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson, the bespectacled professor, and we promised him to you. Let's dive right in. He is Dan Marino. You know all of who he is and will be, and he's sitting with us right now. I'm kind of aghast. Okay. Mr. Marino, Dan, well, it's a pleasure.
Bud.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
No, glad to be here. You guys, I know this is a hectic time for the radio stuff here on Radio Row, but it's kind of fun.
Dan, I got to get out right away. Obviously, all the football accomplishments are priority. Bad Boys 2, though, super underrated. That's my all-time favorite movie. So to meet the star of it is really a treat.
Well, no, we can't go too far.
Yeah, I mean,
better role.
Will Smith, yeah.
Bad Boys 2, Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura's got it.
Yeah, see?
Oh, yeah.
He had meat on that role.
Yeah, exactly. That was my best work ever. I feel like I made Jim Carrey a star, which I did.
Think about what you did. You managed to catapult that guy into the stratosphere. It's those little things that matter.
It was great, man. It was great. That's good stuff.
So, Dan, what's the week been like? Obviously, everybody's here. There's a lot of energy. They're hopped up on various things, different things, whatever. But
I just got here last night, and I'm going to do some corporate stuff here, and obviously doing the work with M&M. Almost Champions ring that I'm doing a commercial for, and Bruce Smith's in it. He was in 4 and didn't win, and T.O. was in a couple, and then also our special guest in the commercial was Scarlett Johansson, which I thought was pretty cool.
She's in because she was nominated twice for in the same year and didn't get it. Is that so. Why?
Yeah, yep. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, that's the worst thing to ever happen to y'all. It's working out pretty well for all 4 of you guys.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but then anyway, so yeah, here promoting that and that they did the ring and.
No, you say the ring.
They did the M&Ms ring.
You got to talk about this
ring.
You
are really underselling. I saw an Instagram ad for this ring, and we knew that you were coming on for it. And I was like, is he going to be wearing the ring? Like, I was all...
No, they got the ring. The ring's at the M&M store in Las Vegas.
It's a solid gold ring.
With diamonds in it.
But the diamonds are made out of peanut butter? Like it's manufactured diamonds that have been made
that were lab
out of peanut butter that you would get out of an M&M's.
Yes, peanut butter M&M's. So, and I guess you could eat the ring if you wanted to. But I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that at all.
I value my teeth too much, but I would eat and will eat these M&Ms.
It's on display here in Vegas at the M&M's store here in town.
And also, like for more information, I know you got to do this, but if you go to M&M's, MMS.com and / Super Bowl,
of course,
then you can get into all the other stuff they have, and they have like these sweatsuits that you could buy and be a part of it. And yeah, so it's
Can I win the ring?
Can you win the ring?
Can I win the ring?
Or is it there?
Can I meet Scarlett Johansson if she has the ring?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, that's like one.
We could definitely do that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And we have to ask you, quarterbacks?
Sure. Yeah,
compare and contrast are the two quarterbacks that we get to see this weekend.
Say it again.
Compare and contrast. What do you see in Brock Purdy? What do you see in Mahomes? Likes things that you see?
Well, I mean, Mahomes is as good as it gets, and he is a special player. Has been a special player since he came in the league, and the things he can do throwing the football, it's just incredible. And he's a winner. He's going to be tough to beat in this game because he knows how to win Super Bowls. He's done it before. And Brock Purdy's it's a neat story because I just love the fact that he's an underdog guy. I'd love to see him win, actually. He's an underdog guy coming in last pick in the draft. And the little cool thing with me is this, I guess I got a note that said that Brock Purdy's dad was a Dan Marino fan.
Right.
When he was growing up and they watched tape and stuff like that. So and he was wearing 13.
Of course.
So now, besides my M&M's ring in the Super Bowl, Purdy's my favorite guy now.
That's interesting. But I think the story of Purdy has been so lost in people trying to figure out how good he is and how good Kyle Shanahan is and whatever. It's his second season in the NFL. I mean, you know what it's like to have high levels of success so early, and obviously Mahomes is the kind of modern-day king of that. When you're that young and you are experiencing those things, I feel like it would just wash over you. You're almost too naive to understand what's at stake. Is that a fair way to look at it?
That is definitely fair. I mean, because I played in the Super Bowl my second year. We broke all those records. We did no one else was doing all those kind of things. And then we didn't beat the 49ers, who had an incredible team. and Montana, obviously, and a lot of other guys, Ronnie Lott, those guys. But I thought I would be back and playing that game again a number of times, and I was 20. I still may be the youngest quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty darn close. And you just think you're going to be there, you'll be there. I thought we'd be going to next year, and it doesn't happen. So I think that's the lesson that a lot of these guys have learned over the years is, you got to take advantage of the shot when you got it, because you don't know what's going to come down the road in the future.
On the subject of that, we cover the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott is the longest tenured starting quarterback in the NFL relative to his specific team because of Aaron Rodgers changing teams, things like that. And he's entering now year 9. And I have to imagine at that point you start to wonder, like, if it can't happen, it didn't happen when we were the 1 seed. It didn't happen when we had the bye. You're kind of evaluating what has to happen. What are your thoughts on Dak given his exposure, as a Dallas Cowboys quarterback?
Well, I like Dak as far as his ability and everything he's been able to accomplish in his career, and it's just that they just haven't been able to get over that hump, and it just takes that effort, extra effort, being in the right situation as far as what the schedule is and how many, what's the injuries. I mean, like for the Dolphins, for example, we got hurt at the end of the year. I mean, it's just a fact. Like,
just life.
There was a lot of injuries, and it was hard to overcome that. So, I mean, that's just part of it. And I think he'll be fine. I mean, they'll continue to compete. We'll see where it goes as far as him getting into a championship game.
In knowing the variables that get into winning a title, at what point do you, as a pro, do you start accepting the fact that I'm going to do everything I can, but it just might not work out?
I don't think you ever try to think that. Good. Because you think that you can do it, and especially if you always played at a high level, that it could happen. I think after when I retired, I did feel like I could play a couple more years. It just didn't feel right to where I could have went to Minnesota, could have went to Pittsburgh, like places like that. But you always think if you're putting the work in and you're doing the work, you think like you got a shot, no matter what the circumstances are. So that's always there with play. If you got a player that's worth what he is as far as if he's a good one or not, then he's thinking about that all the time.
He is Dan Marino, if you don't recognize the voice here with M&Ms, offering a ring that we all have access to see at some point.
You touched on the Dolphins, and it's interesting when teams are successful in the same sort of way, right? Like when anybody thinks Dolphins success, they think of you. They think of offensive success. It'd be weird if the Dolphins were like a heavy all-defense team. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so you look at Tua and you look at what Mike McDaniel has done, and you mentioned it. They just kind of fizzled out and caught some bad luck near the end. Do you think that next season they can finally break over the Buffalo Bills? And if the Jets obviously come back with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, they're on the cusp, and they just need those things to kind of line up right for them too.
Well, you said it. I mean, you said it right there. They need things to line up, and at the end of the year there, we had opportunities, and I think you just got to grow from them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say every Dolphin fan, Dolphin player, anybody that's involved that would say you got to grow from that and understand that you got to be healthy. You got to have your right players playing at the end of the year when the games are very meaningful. They count so much. You got to have everybody ready.
When you look at the style of Miami and McDaniel and all the offenses that we see around, and it's obviously, man, in my day it was this, and this day it's so much easier. But when you look at the systems that are popular now, do you feel like that would be something that you would enjoy, the RPO movement and that kind of game as it's changed?
I could do it for sure.
But would you enjoy it? Do you think the success would come?
I don't know about throwing all the little, throwing it sideways all the time. Like that wasn't my game. As far as all these bubble screens and RPOs like you're talking about. So could I do it? Yeah, I definitely could do it. But it was not one of the things that was even around that much, And, our throws were more down. I mean, we had always had chances no matter what the play was going down the field. So that's a whole different offense. And now they run more motion and more adjustment with players and same personnel in the game, and they're all in different spots, and it's all – but it makes it more challenging for defenses.
Do you feel like you would have approved of how protective the league is of quarterbacks now? I mean, you fall down the wrong way, and there's 15 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, that had to have been something that you look and you're like, man, life would have been a lot easier.
It would have been easier, yeah. I kind of like it because I think you want your star players to be in there and playing the game, and guys still, even though they have changed the rules, guys are still getting hurt. I mean, it's just part of the game and how physical it is. So, but I mean, it did change. It changed, how people played the game. and how you were able to put up some of the yards and completion percentages and all that they have now that probably wasn't there, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They were good, but not as good as you get now. The stats are better now.
Right. Dan, MMS.com/Super Bowl. Not M&Ms, MMS. Just throw the and sign away. Is peanut butter your favorite flavor?
If you were driving.
Yeah, it's definitely peanut butter.
Okay, I'm a peanut guy myself, but this is just, this does have to work. You know what I mean? They just dilute it down.
The other thing, if you're out in town here in Vegas to come to the Super Bowl, you want to go see the ring at the M&Ms store in Vegas, you can go check that out too.
The process behind turning peanut butter into, wearable jewelry is one I'm interested in.
Yes, it was, yeah. Well, you're going to see it.
It's a brave and bold new world. He is Dan Marino. You recognize him from everything else, and now with M&Ms. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. It is a genuine pleasure to meet a genuine legend in the
Bad Boys 2 forever.
Bad Boys Ventura was the platform. Dan Marino right here on the San Antonio Sports Star.
AA Best Bail Bonds. Big game coverage live from Las Vegas. Powered by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Synergenics, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.